If you are new to the practice with me, I do offer a form of meditation that is yoga nidra based, yoga nidra inspired. And the yoga nidra practice that I'm familiar with is the iRest protocol and iRest method from the Integrative Restoration Institute. It is a bit of a modern adaptation of a very classical yoga nidra practice. There are a couple of different things that, make it stand out that I find to be very helpful as a Westerner and somebody that didn't grow up with a lot of spirituality or any Eastern knowing, really. There can be some classical themes in the traditional practices that might seem a little foreign. They're very exciting nonetheless. And I do encourage, if you like this type of practice, this somatic, deep listening practice through all of these aspects of ourself, our body, our mind, our hearts, our joys, our emotions, our memories, all of that wonderful stuff. If you do enjoy that, I do encourage you to listen to classical practices as well. I think there are many wonderful teachers out there, and if you ever need any recommendations, let me know. I have many. So we'll go ahead and get started. So thank you so much for joining me. It's always an honor and a privilege to be here with you on Monday evenings, and I look forward to continuing to do that for you. So I'm here all June and for the foreseeable future, here online for you Monday nights, and I'll let you know if anything changes. If you are new, my name is Denny Shea. Thanks for letting me into your home this evening or wherever you are. And what I wanted to focus on today was just a bit of love. Last month of May, every week I had a new and different topic around resourcing. And resourcing, just to familiarize you with the term, the way I'm referring to it is a sense of belonging, a sense of connection with yourself, with others, with all of nature, and really all of life. This deep sense of belonging we can connect to in many different ways. I shared 4 that I kind of enjoy, or things that I thought were pertinent about resourcing. The first week we talked about earthing. It was very nature inspired. It was lovely. If you didn't get to that practice with us, it's now on YouTube, so you can listen back to that, a part of it, and I believe part of the talk. So that will be available now. Then I had, the inner resource practice. Yes, that was wonderful. So the inner resource practice is coming next. I'll be posting that this week. And we focused on cultivating a unique sense of well-being. And we could use memories. We can use our active imagination. We can use all of our senses. But ideally, it would be a felt sense of comfort and well-being. The following week, week 3, I talked a bit about neuroscience and our default mode, our sense of self and I, along with more of a present-centered network, which has, a bit more clarity, insight. We connect to this love that is unconditioned, which I'm going to point you to this evening. And our final week, we focused on, it was on Memorial Day, actually. It was on gratitude. And I did kind of mirror and talk about some duality there with grief. So there's a bit about grief and gratitude, but that was a really lovely practice. I reflected back and listened back and really enjoyed that myself privately after. So if you were there, we were all a part of making that such a beautiful practice. So thank you. So as I mentioned tonight, love in a time where there might be so much unrest. I'm certainly feeling some unrest just with what's happening in society, and really feeling this collective need for change, for love, for joy, for things that are really potent medicines to come in and shine some lights on areas that are really, really dark and can feel really, really heavy. And as we know from our neuroscience talk, our default mode can come in and get really engaged, and there can be a lot of recursive thinking. And not that we should not think about things that are unpleasant. By all means, we absolutely should. However, if we find that our thinking stays in this kind of lamenting. It's almost fueling and causing even more unrest in you. There's no good that can be done with that kind of wound up energy. So if anything, knowing that that might be coming online, if you're feeling a little bit of that, you can use that active energy to shift into present centered network, maybe feel into what might be an appropriate response. How might I take action? And at this time, I'm saying a call to love in a way, and inviting more love in. And for our sake tonight, we'll focus on love and meditation purposes. But you might find that love can be expressed or communicated or shared as actions, signatures, movements, donations. There's many ways to be active in this in a very loving way. If you find that certain ways of kind of standing up and having your voice heard don't suit you, your nature, or your nervous system. We also want to remember that, we are these living, breathing systems that are really feeling into what's happening collectively and all around us. So if you are called to action in that way, do tend to yourself as well, and make sure you're taking care of your body and your energy and getting the rest and nourishment that you need. And if you have questions on how to do that, feel free to contact me after. It's sort of my specialty. I like to nourish people. So we'll focus on love tonight. That will be some good medicine. But in that, I want to also recognize, there might be in meditation something else that bubbles up, which is known as our opposite. So we might have intentions, and we're not denying the full range of our experience in meditation. So it can be very common that when we focus on love or gratitude, the opposite might show up, or feelings where we're not feeling so loving, where we haven't been loving in the past, memories, things like that can kind of flush out of the deep, dark waters, so to say. So know that if you do come in contact with that, we will have a way to work with it. It's a bit of an opposite practice, which you'll experience. I will share that in our meditation tonight. And it will sound something like, we can invite in love and gratitude, and we will do that in a sense of comfort and safety for a period. And then I'll say or invite, if there is the opposite, if there is a bit of stress or challenge that is presenting itself, feel free to allow that to come up to the surface too. Let it have its voice. Might you feel it? Might you engage and become curious to it as a messenger in your practice, as a way to point you back into that deep, unconditioned love that is really unchanging, that we can rest back into and respond from. What is the most loving action I can take here and now? So I'm excited for that. Prior, though, I'd like to share a little bit of poetry. I love poetry. I usually bring it into a lot of my classes, and being at home, sometimes I forget and I let that part get away from me. So I do want to share tonight from a wonderful, I mentioned somewhat reclusive poet. Her name is Nayyirah Waheed. Her writing is very potent. It is very strong. There are little bits that are full of grace, that are sweet and tender, and there are others that really make you stop and think. So I do encourage you, if you like poetry and like strong current voices, to check her out. And I'm reading from her book from 2013 called Salt. I'm going to read just a couple of her writings. Some are, they're fairly short. I find them to be potent, and you might find them to be helpful at this time. This one's on page 9. The hard season will split you through. Do not worry. You will bleed water. Do not worry. This is grief. Your face will fall out and down your skin, and there will be scorching, but do not worry. Keep speaking the years from their hiding places. Keep coughing up smoke from all the deaths you have died. Keep the rage tender, because the soft season will come, It will come loud, ready, gulping, both hands in your chest, up all night, up all of the nights, to drink all damage into love. She calls that therapy. Page 45. I don't pay attention to the world ending. It has ended for me many times and began again in the morning. And page 141. When I am afraid to speak is when I speak. That is when it is most important. The freedom in fear. So Naira Waheed, that comes from SALT. She has another book available of poetry, and I believe she has some other current things that are coming out a bit online. She's very reclusive though, so you won't find much about her. I will share my information at the end of the practice, so if you're curious about her, you can contact me and I can, share. So love will be our focus tonight. We will do some body rotation. We'll sense our breath. We'll come into kind of more of that felt sense of the body as energy, as sensation. We might note a bit of emotions, thoughts, but there will be a period of time for love, cultivating love, feeling love. We'll use memories or our imagination, people, places, things, anything to kind of awaken love. There might be there love for love's sake already bubbling up, love for us being together tonight. And then, like I mentioned, I will give a period for opposites, to recognize that there might be the opposite arising for you as we focus so much in this love and well-being and that feeling of really nourishment. Those little percolations of all the ways in which we haven't been loving or aren't feeling loved or loving can rise to the surface. So we don't want to deny or avoid. Avoidance in a way can be kind of like a subtle denial. So as best we can, we want to welcome, and we can do that on many levels. So tonight you might hear me say something, as this rises up to the surface in your practice, notice how that feels in the body. And so if it feels really intense on more of a thought or mental level, you might really just feel it physically, really meet it somatically. So I do hope this practice invites love in, deepens love for you, reminds you that this unconditioned love is already present, that it's our birthright, it's everybody's birthright, all living creatures, all the animals, all the plants, all the people, all of us that make this collective lived experience. So go ahead and take this time to find a position of comfort for yourself. This practice is typically offered in a lying down, reclining position. You might find supports like bolsters, blankets, cushions. You might be curled up in your bed. You might be lying on the floor. You might be seated. If you want to stay really awake and feel a bit tired, you can always choose seated. Please know that at any time you need to adjust your body in service of your comfort to do so. So as we begin this meditative journey, become aware of the form, the shape of your body. The position you've chosen that is comfortable. You might close the eyes and take a few deep breaths, fully exhaling into the weight of the earth and the surfaces providing support. And as you settle in, check in if you need to make any last minute adjustments. As we begin our practice, affirming to yourself here and now that you are turning your attention into a present, centered, heartfelt listening. That nothing during this meditation is denied. That in the spirit of love, all is welcome. All is welcome to be just as it is. So as we feel this heartfelt, welcome attention, begin with the environment all around you. So feeling the channels of the ears open, receiving sounds. All outer sounds. All inner sounds. You might hear the sound of your breath and begin to feel the touch of air moving from the outside in and the inside out. Feel the touch of breath as it caresses the interior of the body, the inner walls of the throat, the front of the torso, the chest, the diaphragm, the belly. Even feel the touch of breath in the back, along the spine, back of the neck. Become aware of the air caressing your skin, the outer sensations of the surfaces touching and supporting the body. And if it feels right, might you sense this inner breath sensation and this outer periphery sensation of textures and surfaces. Feeling all of this touch, inside and outside. This constant connection to this inner and outer sense of touch. And invite attention to scan through the other portals of perception, sensing smells, tastes. If the eyes are open, you might begin to softly relax the lids, closing the eyes. Become aware of any inner visual perceptions. Maybe specks of light. Maybe a blank space. Faces, colors, shapes, any visual impressions. And sensing the body, the whole body, from the crown of the head to the toes. Senses wide open and welcoming. And the body breathing itself with ease. And scanning the body, this time from the toes to the crown of the head, and notice if there's a place in the body that is calling for some attention. Just taking note for now as we rotate through the body a bit deeper. You might spend a little extra time in this space or place calling to you now. So taking note, continuing your scan all the way to the crown of the head. And from the crown of the head, might you feel this attention shining down through the whole land of the body. The whole land of the body alive, aglow with your tender-hearted attention. Free to be just as it is in this moment. Feeling into the mood or energy of the body. Is there vibrant aliveness? Maybe there's a bit of fatigue or pain. That too is welcome. I invite you now to call forward your inner resource or safe space of well-being. This might be a felt sense. This might be a memory. Might be a positive statement, a word, that resonates a feeling of well-being, a sense of support and comfort. Just give this next few minutes to nourish this inner resource of well-being. And if images or memories are shining through and forward, inviting all the senses to deepen this experience and inviting a felt sense, a body sense of this comfort, this feeling of groundedness and support. Remember that you can return to this inner resource of comfort anytime you need through this experience. So I invite you now to set attention free once again. We'll rotate through the body, shining this heartfelt, tender attention through the whole of the body. You can always visualize a loving color, symbol, or image. can see flowers blooming, gold lights shining. There might be a felt sense to this tender-hearted attention, a softness, a tenderness. And know that if we meet places in the body that feel they need extra attention, lingering as long as you like, rejoining anytime. Know that your practice should be unique for you. So as we begin our journey, we'll invite attention into the mouth, sensing the tongue, floor of the mouth, ceiling of the mouth, left side, right side, all structures of the mouth, the tongue, the teeth, the gums, the whole field of the mouth as sensation. Through the inner ears to the outer ears, the cheeks, the nose, the nostril floors, the bridge of the nose, and that tender attention at the space between the eyes, all around the eyes, eyelids, eyes themselves like pools of love, deep, unchanging, shimmering, sensations out in front of the eyes, back behind the eyes. Into the forehead, the crown of the head, the back of the head, back of the neck, root of the throat, sensing the neck, the head, and the face. This tender-hearted attention, welcoming all sensations of the neck, head, and face. And as you exhale, send attention to journey to the shoulders, left and right, down through the upper arms, elbows, forearms, wrists, hands, left and right, the front, the back, all the fingers. Let attention linger in the hands for this next few breath cycles. Sense how sensation and breath ebb and flow in the palms, brilliant orbs of energy. Avenues for love, how we touch the world, ourselves and others. Feeling the vibrant aliveness in the hands. Loving rivers of energy flowing up from the hands, back through the arms, the shoulders, and collecting like a pool of love in the chest, right at the center of the chest. Feeling this whirlpool of love forming that expands through the heart, the upper back, the lungs, the ribs, the upper spine, the middle spine, the muscles of the back, the low spine, behind the navel, and all around the navel, sensing the abdomen, muscles, perhaps organs. Just feeling this tender-hearted, loving attention flowing through the whole torso, sensing body and breath. This heart energy flowing through the whole torso, front, back, left, right. And again, on an exhale, gather attention to the base of the spine and feeling the energetic flow moving to the hips, left and right, down through the upper legs, all around the knees, lower legs, ankles, tops of the feet, soles of the feet, and all the toes. These next few cycles of breath lingering in the feet and toes, sensing the vibrant energy here. Our feet deeply connected to the earth, this sense of ground, how we take action, how we walk in this world, how we stand in this world. Just become aware of all the sensations that are present in the feet, the toes. Feel how these two can be avenues of love. And on your next in-breath, you might feel that loving, energetic flow traveling up the legs, through the torso, illuminating shoulders, arms, hands, neck, head, face. Feel the whole body in the glow of your tender-hearted attention. The body as a field of love. And feeling how these sensations are coming and going in your awareness. And perhaps a deeper, unconditioned love that has been listening and present as the body was met and received just as it is. You might rest in this whole body feeling of love and this deeper underlying essence of unconditioned love that is supporting and holding this journey. If it feels right for you, you can welcome an experience or a memory of love in whatever form it comes to you. An example might be a felt sense of love. You might recall a time, a place, a person, a special friend or animal, object. And don't go searching. You might just invite and see what spontaneously arises as you call forth love. You might recall tastes, smells, sounds, sights, feelings, symbols associated with love. Allowing love to come fully into your body. Love filling the torso, arms, legs, head, face, your entire body experiencing love. And know that if you're experiencing an opposite, if there's a emotion or thought that is calling to you, if it feels right, take a few moments to note, to welcome, and perhaps feel. You can interact and ask what this emotion or thought wants, what it needs. Feeling that tender-hearted, loving attention, meeting the messengers of your experience as it unfolds. If an opposite is arising or has called your attention, you might take time to gently navigate back to this felt sense or any memories or imaginative experiences to recall love and a felt sense of love. So allow yourself to return to this place, this feeling, nourishing for the next few minutes. Breath coming and going, body resting in this field of love. Love independent of memory, independent of thinking. Love for love's sake. Love spreading throughout your entire body as a felt sense of comfort and support. Love pervading the space all around your body. Feel the love growing and amplifying, love everywhere. And be aware of the feeling of being, as well as the feeling of love. Simply being and the feeling of love. And if it feels right for you now, you might affirm or set an intention to cultivate this garden of love, this whirlpool of love that rests in the center of the chest, this spiritual heart that is unconditioned. You might sense the rivers of love flooding through the body, all around the body, and invite love into every interaction that you have with yourself or another. All living creatures. Love is our birthright. You might reflect back upon the journey you've taken. When it feels right, begin to attune your senses to the outer environment, all sounds and smells, the stable ground beneath your body, the shape of your body, and the feeling of your body reawakening, feeling refreshed, alive with this feeling and sense of love. You might deepen the breath and set the body free into some gentle movement, letting yourself stretch and reawaken in your own time, in your own way. I do thank you so much for listening. It is always an honor and a privilege